You don't want this happening to your jet ski. After videos from the accident and then stealth camping, last week we uncovered the top 5 camping game changers. This week we'll go through the steps required to clean and flush your jet ski. This should ideally be done after every ride, but is super critical after riding in salt water. Cleaning and flushing your jet ski will not only help reduce corrosion, but also the build-up of salt deposits that can cause engine blockages. Start by rinsing down the exterior of the jet ski with fresh water. Use a low pressure garden hose. An extension wand will help you reach difficult areas. Start at the top and work your way down. Don't forget to rinse around the handlebars, reverse lever and reboarding step, as these areas are often missed. At the back of the ski, it is really important to rinse down the propulsion and steering mechanisms. Give this area a really thorough rinse, but avoid spraying water directly into the exhaust outlet. You should, however, spray directly through the jet nozzle. This will wash away any gritty sand or debris that could damage the impeller when you start the engine to flush it. Be sure to rinse the speed sensor wheel so it is spinning freely. Often it can get jammed by sand and seaweed. Also give the intake grate and ride plate a thorough rinse from below. At the boat ramp, the rear of your trailer gets completely submerged. Although alloy trailers are far less susceptible to rust than steel trailers, you should still rinse them down. Rinse out the inside of the trailer frame by putting the hose directly in one end and waiting for fresh water to flow out the other. Generally, all the running gear on an alloy trailer is made from steel. This includes the axle, wheel hubs, suspension, winch and jockey wheel. Rinse all these areas down along with the rear lights. Now using car wash detergent and a soft sponge, wash down the entire exterior of the ski to remove any remaining salt or grime. Stubborn grime will often build up along the waterline of the hull. This is also a good opportunity to inspect the hull for any damage. Now rinse off all the soap suds, and if you don't want to leave watermarks, dry with a chamois. Now remove the seats and wash their undersides. Remove the rubber bung from any storage areas so they can drain. We are now up to the 4th step. Unscrew the drain plugs from the rear of the jet ski. Now gently hose down the engine bay. Give it a really thorough rinse, but avoid getting water into the airbox. Also minimise spraying the electrical components to reduce the chance of electrical shortages. Having now hosed down the exterior of the jet ski and the engine bay, water will have accumulated inside the footwells and inside the hull. To fully drain these areas, you need to raise the bow of the watercraft. With the jet ski securely strapped to the trailer, chock the wheels so the trailer can't roll forwards or backwards. Then unhitch and wind out the jockey wheel. If any water still remains, you can lift the front of the trailer to create an even steeper gradient. Once the water has all drained, lower the jockey wheel so the jet ski is level again, and reinsert the rear drain plug so you don't forget. If any puddles of water remain, use a sponge to soak them up. The next step is to flush the jet ski. We want to flush the jet ski to remove any salt, sand and dirt from the internal cooling and exhaust systems. Locate the flush port on your ski. On some models, this will be at the rear of the ski. On other models, it will be inside the engine bay. On my ski, it is located under the front hatch. With the water turned off, attach your garden hose to the flush port. This generally requires a hose adapter that will be detailed in your user manual. With the water still turned off, make sure the area around the rear of the watercraft is clear and then start your jet ski's engine. You now have 15 seconds to fully turn on the water before the engine may start to overheat. Water should now flow out from the jet nozzle. It is really important to have the engine running before turning the water on. Otherwise, water can very quickly fill up the exhaust and then backflood into the engine cylinders. This is called hydrolock and can severely damage the motor, especially if the flooded engine is then started. Leave the engine running for the recommended flush time in your user manual. I like to leave my engine flushing for at least 5 minutes, but some jet skis should not be run out of water for this long, so check your user manual. On some models, a steady stream of water will also flow from the cooling indicator outlet, which confirms there is sufficient water circulating through the cooling system. During flushing, if the engine was to unexpectedly stop, you need to immediately turn off the water due to the risk of hydrolock. For this reason, it's a good idea to stay close by. Once the time is up, turn off the water but leave the engine still running. To discharge the remaining water from the exhaust system, rev the engine a few times to around 4,000 revs, and then shut off the engine. Ensure no one is behind the jet ski when you rev the engine so they're not sprayed with hot exhaust water. Again, you don't want to leave the engine running for more than 15 seconds once you turn the water off. Now unplug the garden hose from the flush port and replace the flush port cap. If your jet ski is supercharged, you may have to flush the intercooler. When the intercooler is on a separate flush port, it is often flushed without the engine running, but best check your owner's manual to confirm. After 20 or 30 minutes, restart and rev the engine one final time. This blows out any remaining water. Again, do not exceed 15 seconds, otherwise the engine and exhaust system may overheat. To minimize corrosion, you now want to spray all the metallic parts of the hull, deck and engine with a rust inhibitor. Be sure to spray the entire engine with a thin mist. You want to ensure there is a greasy film covering all metal surfaces. There are numerous anti-corrosion lubricants available. Just ensure you choose one that won't damage the engine's rubber hoses. If your jet ski is supercharged, you may also need to fog the supercharger. This places a thin coating of oil on the internal rotors to protect them. Again, check your user manual to find out more. Well, you're now done. If possible, store the jet ski with the seats off, the storage bins out, and all the hatches open. This will allow air to circulate and any moisture to evaporate. Thanks for joining me today. Hang in there and I'll see you next time.